Alright, so here on my chart, this is how the system works. Okay, so I'm going to first of all explain how this works in a plain chart. Alright, now I'm going to come over right here and explain this. So let's start from this. So what the system says that you are going to wait for markets to come to a support or resistance. Now, not ordinary support, ordinary resistance. Okay, now it can either be a support and resistance in the higher time frame. That is where I use it the most. Okay, so let's take for example that the market is pushing from down here, creating a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high here, right? Once you get to this point here, which is the resistance point, you will start looking for a sell to the downside. Now, you don't just look for this sell randomly, right? After coming here, you go down to the lower time frame, which in this case should be our 15-minute time frame. All right, so you come to a lower time frame or 15-minute time frame, all right, and look for a shift in market structure. You can use 15 minutes or 5 minutes. All right, you can use 15 minutes or 5 minutes. All right, so what I mean is this. So when you come, this is resistance zone, right? So shift in market structure simply means something like this. All right, so the market is creating a series of higher high and higher low, and now it refuses to break above this high. Now maybe creates a lower high here, right, and then creates another lower low. So this is a shift in market structure in the lower time frame. So what we're looking for is a pullback to either a discount area or to either doing this in a discount area, okay, or in a premium area. If you are buying, it should be on the discount. If you're selling, it should be on the premium, right? Then you sell to the down to the next structural point. Okay, you cannot target your 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or 5-to-1, any one of them. So this is how the strategy works. Okay, I'm still going to go to the chart and explain this very well, but just understand that the key component of this strategy is simple. Look, wait for market to come to a higher time frame support or resistance, then go down to the lower time frame. In this case, you have to make your choice: is it 15 minutes or 5 minutes? Then you look for your shift in market momentum, okay, and you execute once the market returns back. All right, so let's go ahead and look for this. Okay, now I took this trade down here. So this is the 4-hour time frame, and if you look at clearly, this market is in an uptrend. Okay, so the market is an uptrend from down here. It pushes higher high here, higher low, then higher high again. So the market is actually on a very uptrend. It come here and I created a little bit of support here before it blasted it to the upside. So based on our rules, we want to wait for the market to retest back to this our support zone, okay, before we look for opportunity. All right, now let's go and see what happened in the lower time frame, okay, at this point. So if you come to this 15 minutes now, which is where we are going to be looking for the entry. All right, 15 is basically the entry. Once the market is on your buy zone or your sell zone, that's where you look for your entry, right? And if you are seeing this clearly, you can see that the market is basically moving in let me remove this first so you can see clearly. So you can see that the market is actually in a downtrend. Starting from here, you have this lower low, you pull back to create us a lower high, create another lower low down here, then another pull back here, another lower low here. All right, so another this one is equal high here because this does not close above this, then before the market enters our zone. Now take note what the market did once it entered this our buy zone. Once enter this our buy zone, right, you can see how the market shifted in structure in this 50 minutes, which is right here. So right here now is where the market shifted from being bearish to being bullish, right, when the market closes above here. Do you see it now? So the momentum have already shifted from being bearish to now being bullish. Now the next thing you have to do is now to start measuring your swing highs and swing lows. How I do it is very simple. I use my fib, right? So bringing my fib, I look for a swing point. The swing point is where the low started and where the high started. So if you measure from here, all right, to here, you're going to see what I'm saying. So once the market, you measure from this fib from down from the swing point, like swing low to swing high, because in this case we want to buy. Okay, so if you're looking for what, when the market because we want to buy, we want the market to enter into the discount area, or at least at the 50% equilibrium. If the market do not pull back to the discount area because you wanted to buy, then let it at least pull back to the 50% of the equilibrium, right, which is obviously right here. If you take clearly, you're actually going to see this particular week. Alright, this is what the market used to pull into this zone, right? You can see this long week here now. That is the 50% of this particular trading range. Alright, and boom, you are going to execute from there. Alright, once the market rejects from there, you execute. Okay, so if you check, this is almost give us about 2-1 at the point I execute this. Okay, I did not write it up to this point. To be honest, I just take my 2-1 and I go. That is how this trade works. Okay, so you just have to wait for markets to come to a high time frame resistance or support. Okay, so it's a very simple strategy that anybody can trade. The way I'm saying it now, you can really understand it. If you go forward, you're going to see most of our trades. Okay, and that's exactly how I execute most of them. All right, now in this case you have to decide on the pair to trade. Most people don't trade the same pair. So if you're someone that like trading currency pairs, you can go and back test this. I'm showing you guys on the currency pairs. All right, if you like trading commodities, you go back and back test it. I'll show you guys one example of the one I did and how it performed. It is simple, very much easy. You don't need to do much. You don't need to do too much. Okay, just wait for market to come. Now let me show you guys a live market. Now you can see currently that US 30 is at this zone. US 30 is at this zone. All right, in these areas of what, this particular support area. That's where it is currently. You can see where it is currently now. So it's blast above it, then come back for a retest at this point. So based on my strategy, right, what I'll be looking for next week, remember, it's not a must that I'm going to win the trade. I can also make loss. So but once the market is already here, right, it's already on this my support zone I already marked out here, which is on the 4 hours, I'll just go back to 15 minutes and I'll keep watching to see what a shift in market structure. If I can get something like this on Monday, probably something like this from here, slash down, another lower low, then give me a lower high, right, give me a higher low like this, boom, I am in 30 trade to ride it up. Do you understand? Now it can either make me you can either go to my direction or go to my stop loss. The most important is that looking at my journal, I followed the steps that I have to follow. So guys, this is just a simple strategy that anybody can be able to use, okay, to trade and make money. Just stick to it. Sometimes you're going to have losses, obviously, but what matters is how you manage your risk. How many percentage are you willing to risk per trade? Okay, so I hope this video makes sense. You get value. If you do, please give me a like and appreciation. I'll see you guys on the next one. Until next time, guys. Peace out.